Hey guys, what's up and welcome back. Happy Tuesday. All right, so I love Tuesday because now, as of last week, we are officially getting the new season of The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 12, and tonight is episode 2. Now, I talked about this on my Wake Up and Adam show this morning, which thank you again to everyone who joined us, especially to Philly Diva, who was so vulnerable with the story that absolutely just broke our hearts. But it's important to share some of these stories. If you didn't hear it, then just go check it out. It was an interesting conversation, but I always appreciate everyone joining us and being able to come on, be vulnerable. It's not an easy thing to do. Now, we are back to talk about Vanderpump Rules, which used to be on Tuesday nights, but of course, season 9 has wrapped. But Lala Kent is out here doing interviews, and she's talking about the Vanderpump Rules salaries and saying she is rewarded for confrontation. Okay, we have all the details on this and more. So before we jump in, if you guys haven't already, go ahead, smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, let's jump right in.
It's time for all your binge-worthy pop culture news. Welcome to Up and Adam.
All right, guys, so it looks like Lala Kent is shedding light on how she approaches her salary negotiations for Vanderpump Rules and how far she's come since her first season. Thank you to Page 6 for another incredible write-up. The Bravo celebrity has worked her way up to becoming a full-time cast member, but claims her beginning pump show pay was barely enough to make ends meet. She said, when you're brand new, you definitely need that hostess job. I still was having to fit model. I was still having to hostess. Like, what I was making on the show was not covering much. This is what she told host Jason Tartick on Monday's episode of the Trading Secrets podcast. Lala, who first appeared on Vanderpump Rules in 2015 and became the lead in season 6, explained that earning your place helps increase the check amount. She said, my show rewards me for confrontation and speaking up. I don't want to say that I like confrontation, but I will say that I'm great at it. I don't want to say that you don't like confrontation. But I will say, yeah, you're pretty good at it. It's not something where I leave feeling amazing after it happens, but I know what I signed up for and I'm being paid for my thoughts. She said, when cameras aren't on, I tend to pick my battles a little bit better, but when cameras are on, like, well, I have a thought and I'm going to say it. The Give Them Lala author also dished about what was going on and also gave out some advice for anyone looking to negotiate a salary, emphasizing that it's critical to know not only your personal value, but also what will benefit everything else in your life. She said, do I feel like I should be making $1 billion an episode? Absolutely. We should all feel like we deserve $1 billion. If I'm on television, my other brands remain relevant, and that to me is also a huge deal and worth a lot. So my team, when they go into negotiations, they know where my head is at, and we make sure that everybody leaves happy. Now, despite finding success on the Bravo reality series, Lala Kent hinted back in December that she might not return for a 10th season, saying she was feeling a bit alone after taping the season 9 reunion. But weeks later, she told Page 6 exclusively that she hasn't ruled out a return. She's not going anywhere. Let's be real. Lala Kent is not leaving the show. She is newly single. She has a baby. This is like a dream job for her. I mean, you go on reality TV, you throw out Brock's domestic violence situation, you get to rip your castmates for filth, you get to go on cast trips, you have some really good moments, and of course you have some bad ones, but at the end of the day, she is commanding a 6-figure check for her work. Okay, so we'll leave it at that. She said, there are moments where I think I may have outgrown the space, but I kind of am rolling with the punches. If they called me tomorrow, I would have to see how I felt. And then she also said, I don't know what my future holds. Yeah, well, a lot of us don't. I'm looking for a very positive space in life right now. So thank goodness the show isn't filming right now, or maybe I wish it were. I don't know. Again, there's no chance. Lala Kent is not walking away from the show. She's been very vocal about her position on the show. And I understand that sometimes it might be toxic. Yeah, these shows can be, but usually it's the money talks. Tamra Judge even said that. I asked her when I did an interview with her, would you come back to the show? And she's like, would it be my first choice? Probably not. But if they, slap down a massive paycheck, she said, money talks. we're all people. We all have bills to pay. We have mortgages. She has a new baby to feed and to me, and not saying that she's struggling by any means on taking care of her kid, because I'm sure she's not. I'm sure she's in an amazing position. But one day those reality TV checks will come to an end. So while you can rake them in, well, just make sure to rake them in. There was even, we were talking the other day because I did, the Heather McDonald Juicy Scoop podcast. And I was watching where Chelsea Handler was doing interviews, because I was going on YouTube, just kind of rewatching Chelsea Handler. And she was doing these interviews. And one of the interviewers asked her, we heard that you might not be coming back to E with your show. And she said, I'm in talks. I don't know what I'm going to do. They said, well, we heard you're not happy. And she's like, well, maybe I'm not. I don't know. And she eventually thought, I have the name. I have the platform. I'm going to take my show to Netflix. And from what I hear, it didn't do the best. And we haven't heard about Chelsea Handler in quite some time. So sometimes when you get stars, whether they're comedians, celebrities, reality TV stars, and they think, you know what, I'm too good for this. I can take, my business elsewhere. There's another show, another platform that will pay me for my work. Sometimes it comes back to bite you. We even saw the same thing with Vicki Gunvalson on The Real Housewives of Orange County, where she was like, this is my show. And on season 15, or 14, at the reunion, she was screaming at Bronwyn and she's like, get her off my show. And they're like, it's not your show. She's like, it is my show. And I think once you get to that point, we watched Teresa Giudice do it now. She calls Real Housewives of New Jersey the Teresa Show. I believe that ego starts to get you in a little bit of trouble, because you think you're not disposable. You think that your position is so valuable that nobody can come in and replace you, that you've earned this spot. But really, there's always somebody who is waiting on the sidelines, an understudy of some sorts, who's, waiting to come in and show, listen, you think that she can bring it? I've watched her. I've studied this. I can bring it not only as good as her, but 10 times better. And that's something important to remember. We can all be replaced in our jobs, because there's always somebody who's working their hardest in order to make sure that they can take those positions. But I do want to know what you guys think about this Lala Kent situation. And how do you feel about her saying that technically she's rewarded for confrontation? This comes as no shock to me, especially after talking with Dana Wilkie about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and hearing how they get bonuses for, certain behaviors, or if they're featured in certain episodes or extra episodes, whatever the case is. I'm not surprised. Lala saying that she's rewarded for speaking up and calling people out. Yeah, of course she is, because if she didn't, if they didn't have the confrontation, they wouldn't have a show. People wouldn't necessarily watch for it. But again, I want to hear your opinion. So go ahead and comment below. And before you go, don't forget to smash that like button. If you're not subscribed, get subscribed. And don't forget to hit that notification bell, because, well, you don't want to miss anything we have coming up. With that, we'll see you next time. Bye, guys.